Hello, everybody. This is Raymond Espanola of Surigao del Norte State University, and we are down to our final lecture video for EDUC 6, that is building and enhancing new literacies across the curriculum. As you can see here, our final chapter is about frameworks for thinking about technology integration. I thought of adding this chapter just to supplement our previous lecture video about the universal design for learning. No, essentially, the aim of UDL is to design learning that is accessible to all types of learners, that can allow all types of learners be engaged, um, to also understand content, relate to the content because content is well represented in a multimodal manner, and they're able to participate both behaviorally, cognitively, and even affectively because you provide multiple means of action and expression. Okay, so here we talk about other frameworks which we can, you know, which we can pair with the UDL framework. Okay, now I thought of before going through these three frameworks and three taxonomies. I thought of checking first, kasabot bata unsay pasabot aning framework. So I thought of demonstrating for you ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT, define the concept of framework, quote unquote, to a level of a college student, one or two sentences only. So ingon si ChatGPT, a framework refers to a structured set of guidelines or principles designed to organize and guide understanding, analysis, or action within a specific field or context. It provides a foundational structure that helps to systematically approach complex issues and tasks. So I think that's understandable, no? That is for ChatGPT's um, knowledge of defining framework to a level that can be understood by a college student. So you evaluate if ChatGPT is correct, no? I further ask, so what is meant by frameworks for thinking about technology integration? Our subject is integrating new literacies across the curriculum. So tubag si ChatGPT, ang frameworks for thinking about technology integration, essentially this chapter, refers to structured approaches or models that guide educators in effectively incorporating technology into their teaching practices. These frameworks help teachers assess how technology can enhance learning and determine the best ways to embed technological tools across different subjects and curricular areas. The goal is to improve student engagement and learning outcomes by using technology strategically and purposefully within the curriculum. Okay, so essentially that's our chapter. Kung inyo ning i-evaluate or if you would spend some time on reflection right now, ang inyong Eduk 5 is essentially educational technology. Tudloan mo unsa tong mga technologies na pwede gamiton ni teacher inside the classroom. And I'm sure sa inyong Eduk 5, gitudloan pod mo how to integrate, how to use those technological tools sa teaching process, how to use those technological tools for learning aron ma-enhance ang experience ng students or aron ma-achieve ang mga intentions ni teacher. So, in case less ang inyong appreciation or in case lahi ang mga natudlo sa inyo, I'm here to fill that gap. So I'm here to give you frameworks, simplified frameworks, how to think about integrating technology into your plan, lesson plan, instructional plan, aron masuportaan nimo ang pagdevelop ng nagkalain-lain ng mga literacy skills ng imong estudyante. Or, kung ato i-connect sa previous chapter, tudloan mo unsaon pag-integrate ng technology so that you can be faithful to the principle of UDL. Kung sa gani ang tulo ka principles, that is to provide multiple means of first, engagement, second, representation, third, action and expression. Okay? So, this is the outline of our final chapter. The first three frameworks are technology-influenced frameworks para inyong ma-appreciate asa dapit ang technology unsay role di ay unsa ang importansya ng technology and where do we start, when do we start to think about it when we plan for a lesson, when we plan for a syllabus, when we plan for the whole semester, when we plan for the first day of our class, when we plan for our demo for our job application. So mauni ang tulo ka frameworks na pwede nimong timan-an. And then kaning last three taxonomies for evaluating technology integration is a guidance for you para imong i-evaluate asa ang level of technology use or technology integration sa imong plano sa imong klase. So naaba ka sa level 1, level 2, level 3, actually naay uban about level 6. Okay? So kana siya. So we will go through these topics as we go along. Though na ako'y gidugang na last na just one slide, simple lang. I just thought of including that one around in the future na apod mo'y, just a change of perspective on your part when you become teachers. It's about ChatGPT or generative AI in general. So okay, let's begin with TPAC. TPAC framework. Unsa di ay ning TPAC? Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge Framework. Okay? So, the TPAC framework assumes that effective teaching requires three different knowledge domains. Kung mahimo tang teacher, we need to possess number one, content knowledge or CK. Ang content knowledge is strong knowledge sa kanang imong major, sa kanang imong specialization. Kung wala kay specialization, naa kay wide knowledge and familiarity, dili ra tingulo familiarity, but wide understanding of a lot of things that is general education. Okay? So few recent concepts in general. Karon, aside from knowledge sa content, dapat uptake pod ka sa pedagogical knowledge. Unsa ning pedagogical knowledge? Knowledge of the teaching learning processes and strategies. In short, pedagogy. Mauni ang naa sa inyo mga education students, BSED, PTVTED, BPED, BEd, kay, for example, kung mag-compare mo ng BS Math and BS Ed Math, ang BS Math, puro, murag, let's say, 95% sa ilang curriculum, puro content, 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 content knowledge. Unsa to ng mga theories, concepts, models, unsa ra kandiha ng mga nagkadaiya ng mga calculations and so on. Wala sila kaayoy lessons or subjects about pedagogy. Dili man sila tudluan diha ng theories of learning. Dili sila tudluan ng theories of child development. Dili sila tudluan ng technology integration. Dili sila tudluan ng universal design for learning. These are topics para mag-enable sa isa ka student na magplano ng teaching or learning experience kung siya maoy mahimong teacher sa isa ka classroom. Okay? So, mauna ang naa sa BS Ed Math. So, ang BS Ed Math na degree or curriculum na ay content, sa math, naapoy pedagogy unsaon pagtudlo ang math. Okay? Karon, mao ni ang challenge because over the years, ga-change ang PSED, BEd, BPED, BTVTED curricula kay ginatry na i-insert ining third knowledge domain which is equally important, which is as important as content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge. That is technological knowledge. Knowledge about technology and how it can support student learning. So si TPAC, ang framework ng TPAC, siya'y ga-revolutionize on how we should prepare, how we should train our future teachers. Kung naay isa ka estudyante mosulod sa, for example, College of Teacher Education, any program, any course na education, TCC man, appeal, BEd, BPED, BTVTED, BSED, as I mentioned earlier, dapat daw ang experience niya is tulojod. Content, pedagogy, and technological knowledge. Now, ang kanang tulo, ang intersections nila mauna ang TPAC mismo. Technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. Now, I invite you, reflect daw mo karon kung ikaw isa ka BSED or BPED or um, BEd student, confident na ba ka nga naa ka aning tulo? Like, na anak kay strong knowledge base, informed na gyud kya sa mga nagkadaiyang theories in science, for example. Mapa biology man, mapa anatomy and physiology, mapa biochemistry man, and so on. Grabe kadaghan. Okay? Now, kabalo na pod baka aning mga theories in child development, adolescent development, katong sila ni Piaget, sila ni Albert Bandura, unsa tong mga psychological learning principles, etc. etc. Apil pa ang UDL, apil pa atong mga unsa pa tong mga ethical principles that should be um, observed by a professional teacher. Apil to siya. Okay? And then, technological knowledge. So I think karon sa mga generation, sa mga bagong generation of students like you, dili kaayo mo behind aning TK because ingon pa we are in the digital age already. You are very much familiar with moving or maneuvering in the world of digital technologies, digital tools. So ang challenge karon is yes, you have knowledge of using technology, but how do you combine that? How do you use that in harmony with CK and PK? Okay? Kay dili man pwede, actually to some extent pwede nga kaning technological content knowledge only pero medyo weird na siya. Kay kaning TCK usually mauni ang mga bright kaayo sa content. Okay? Tapos, kabalo po siya mo gamit ng technology. So, kabalo siya mo gamit ng PPT. Pero wala siya plano. Wala siya structure. Wala siya mga UDL principles sa iyang klase. Kabantay mo ana nga teacher nga abtek sa TCK only, abtek sa content, abtek sa technology, pero walay pedagogy, walay strategy. So ang iyang buhaton mosulod sa klase, o sige, um, mag-PPT, mag-LCD tatanan. Tapos mag-assign ng reporting. Tapos pag-reporting, so si teacher in fairness, naa siya diha mo explain pod, mo explain mo tabang pag-elaborate, mo tabang pag-elaborate. Pero o di ra taman, no? Ang mahuman ang inyong chapter kay nag-quiz lang mo. Ang inyong quiz kay identification. So, ganahan mo ana nga kadaghay inyong gilearn tapos nag-quiz lang mo na human inyong klase, identification or multiple choice. So, di ni mo ma-feel kung na-measure ba ang imong growth in terms of the amount of information or understandings that you have acquired. Kay essentially, ang dapat inyong matiman-an karon because you are future teachers already, you take note na kung mag-assessment kita, 'di ba, dili lang kung isa. Dili enough nga gapa-quiz lang ka. Dili enough na, 'di ba kasagaran mao man na ang mahitabo. So ayaw lang mo react because I'm sure daghan mo'y kailaanin ng mga teacher na mag-close ang chapter, nag-close ang chapter, nag summative test. Nagpa-enumerate diha ng grabe kadaghan. Tapos nagpa-answer ng simple essay question pero 10 points. Hala. Kung ako'y inyong pangutanon, I won't be happy sa kana nga teacher because again, if you are mindful of UDL, unsay gani dapat buhaton? Multiple means of action and expression. Actually, lisod siya pangatawanan. Kung ang tao wala joy UDL, I would say wala jud siya pedagogical knowledge. Mauna ang inyong strength as education students. Diha mo mosulod, diha mo magpasigarbo na amoy CK, na amoy TK, pero ang uban wala ing ani. Kani dapat na amoy PK, pedagogical knowledge na always mag-uban with your CK and TK. Okay? Kay lagi daan na mo'y na ay TK. Ang CK para ni sa mga hilig magtuon. So, na-master gajud nila ang tanan content. Ang PK, mauning mga prof ed na subjects ninyo from Eduk 1 to asa na tama ng Eduk 10 ba na taman or kung pila ba. Okay? So, kana ra siya. Ang akong tugon sa inyo, no, because naamang gadyo yung mga oras or mga panahon nga ang inyong teacher dili makauban sa inyo like me personally. the ang isa sa mga main na chapters sa Eduk 6 is the UDL. Kana gyud akong ibilin sa inyo. Kay when you are able to master UDL, pretty much you're able to have acquired the necessary skills for PK. Okay? So, maorat to. By the way, so isingit ko ra kan ining mga istorya nga kabati mo anang istorya nga na ay mga moingon nga um, mga tao daw, mga professors, mga dag mga maestro nga PhD level na di kabalo mo tudlo. So mas abtik mo tudlo ang kaning mga fresh graduate na mga college students and so on. So sometimes that can be true, that can happen kay ang mga fresh graduates sometimes, I'm not saying always, naa sila'y sensitivity sa kung unsa ang mga pamaagi sa pag-deliver ng content para masabtan ng fellow ng mga students. Okay? So naamang great tendency, again, I'm not saying na this is always the case, na ay tendency na kung PhD level na ang iyang education, doctor and so on, medyo makalimot na pod siya sa pedagogical knowledge. So siguro siya yaw-yaw, yaw-yaw. So ako I know someone nga sige siya magyaw-yaw, puro fury. Na siya mabasahan, fury. According to kani. Tapos when I kanang sa iyang mga estudyante, ang ako mabatian ng mga feedback kay di daw siya masabtan kay siguro daw siya discuss diha ng mga concepts na waya diri waya didto. So you can think of, yeah, okay, sige, probably kana nga tao strong sa CK pero kulang siya sa PK. Anyway, so I believe you get the message that every one of you has to acquire all these knowledge domains. Okay? So importante ang TK, but it doesn't mean na it's everything. It doesn't make you a good teacher kung CK and TK ra. dapat naa kay PK. So, these are the definitions of those knowledge domains. Kamura kay magbasa, you may pause this video kung unsa ning pasabot aning mga PK, CK, TK, PCK, TCK, TPK, and TPAC. The three components of content, pedagogy, and technology exist in a state of dynamic equilibrium. Viewing them in isolation is a disservice to good teaching. So, pasabot ana, ang implication, good teaching requires mastery of the three knowledge domains, no? Na knowledge and skills sa content, sa pedagogy and technology. Now, lesson design is heavily influenced by the complexities of context, which is depicted by the dotted circle around TPAC's intersecting diagram. So, ang context, o apil na diha ang multiliteracies and learner variability. So, atras kita. So, mauning mga kaning broken line, o kaning broken nga circle surrounding. So, pasabot ana, contexts. So diha ga depende ang kanang how these three knowledge domains would play out in the classroom will have to depend on the level of for example multiliteracies, no, the necessity for multiliteracies and learner variability. With UDL, Universal Design for Learning, educators can intentionally provide learning opportunities that are inclusive and effective for all students, regardless of the content being taught. Often, leveraging technology tools supports all learners in all content areas. Again, that is often the case, but not all the time. Okay? Often, kung maggamit ang technology, it can support everybody, all learners in all content areas. Pero again, take note of the context kay ang atong i-provide na context diri multiliteracies and learner variability. But in the Philippines, for example, let us be real, lang pa, real talk. We cannot afford to just always say na, "Ah, sige, gamit ang technology, technology, technology." Why? Because we are a poor country. We have a lot of poor children. Wa gani na sila'y tarong nakaon, 'di ba? So kung ikaw mag-impose ka diha nga, magamit kitag Mentimeter, magamit kitag Zoom. Kanina mga technologies, they require strong internet access and even to some extent, they require subscription aron magamit. Okay? Dili siya free. So ang uban magpa-require, o sige, dapat mag-download mo ani ng mga articles kanina mga high-end diha na mga reading materials or resources. Again, maglisod ka ana pag-realize as much as you want to do it because again, you are mindful of leveraging technology tools pero take note of the context kung unsa atong realidad. Okay? So yes, technology tools enhance learning experiences, but under certain conditions. Okay? Pero in a perfect condition, in an ideal situation, ang technology tools can enhance learning experience through multisensory interaction, discussion, feedback, and reflection. Now, let's move on to the second framework, the IPC or TIPC. The IPC, Technology Integration Planning Cycle Framework. Essentially, this framework is a framework for you to plan on how to integrate technology into the design of your lesson, design of your instruction. Both TPAC and UDL highlight the need to plan instruction, considering the unique context of student needs within every classroom. Technology integration starts with planning. Therefore, the IPC or Technology Integration Planning Cycle. So essentially, this is the planning process. So let's focus on the figure that you can see on the right side of the slide. We start at being reflective. So kung kamo, for example, at the moment, you are doing your own lesson plan. kanang inyong instructional goal or intended learning outcomes, you have crafted that out of reflection, right? So kamoy nagbuhat ana, kamoy nagsulat ana. You have spent time to brainstorm on what your instructional goal would be. Again, your instructional goal is your intention, intended learning outcome. Once you have finalized your ILO, according to this framework, the next step that you need to think about is unsay imong instructional approach. Unsa man ang instructional approach? Duha lang ni in general. That is to be teacher directed or to be learner centered. So if you remember sa mga earlier chapters nato, ang atong gina-advocate is for teachers to be more learner-centered. We didn't say na dapat kalimtan ang teacher-directed na instruction. No. Why? Because there is value sa pagka-teacher-directed, especially sa lower grade levels. Take note that ang learning process or mediation process. Si learner, mo learn siya kung naa siya'y assistance from a more knowledgeable adult. Take note of that. So karon, take note na kaning learner is usually not an expert at first. Well, mao magad na ang reality, dili siya expert. So mosulod si adult para ang goal niya is mahimo siyang independent learner, kaning learner na beginner. So essentially, ang logic diha is there is value sa teacher-directed teaching, especially sa mga lower grade levels or mga young learners. Kung sa college level or let's say sa senior high school na level, it would be essential or it would be important for teachers na mahimong learner-centered because naa naman sila mga learning skills, naa naman sila 21st century skills like comprehension, collaboration, leadership, and so on and so forth. So again, unsay pasabot anong instructional approach, that is just a decision making that you have to do whether your instructional approach would be more teacher directed or more learner-centered. So karon balik mo sa inyong lesson plan na ginabuhat karon. Unsa man na nga grade level, unsa man na mga students ang inyong gibuhatan ng lesson plan. So kung naa mo sa grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, my expectation would be ang imong approach is more learner-centered. So kung learner-centered, ato nang gidefine before, you would have various activities or tasks. Okay? Kung ikaw pod gabuhat ng lesson plan for let's say grade 4, grade 3, grade 5 or grade 2, you would have to be more teacher directed. So kung ikaw more teacher directed, mas mo rely jud ka sa direct instruction. That is a teacher dominated na classroom experience. Okay? So, according to TIPC or TIPC framework, once you have determined your ILO or instructional goal and you have identified the instructional approach to use, you then think about tool selection. That is, what technological tools to use to integrate in the service of the intended learning outcomes and the instructional approach that you have chosen. Okay, so you can see here, there's an exit point. You exit if maggamit lang ka ng paper and pencil. Pero if you have decided na, okay, sige, maggamit kag laptop, maggamit kag internet, maggamit kag YouTube, maggamit kag LCD projector, you continue with the process of planning. The next one is you think about contribution to instruction. Will it enhance the learning experience of your students if mogamit ka ng katong mga na-mention ng mga technological tools. Now, if yes, you proceed to the next. That is, you think about constraints. Kung sa maning mga constraints, kaning mga challenges that you might encounter in using or realizing your planned technology use. So if you can overcome the constraints, then you move on to implementing your instruction. That is the I already, instruction. And then the cycle continues for the next lesson. So you think about of another instructional goal again, and so on. And the process continues. Okay? So essentially, again, unsay essence aning TIPC. TIPC is just a guiding framework, a framework that aims to help educators, help teachers, or let's say in your case, future teachers, that help you plan on using technology. So, ang lesson there is you cannot think of technology ahead of time. Dili pwede na kay LCD projector, mag LCD projector na ka sa entire semester. No. Dili mo ti pasabot na kabalo na ka mag PPT, mag PPT na ka for the whole semester. No. Okay? You have to provide varied learning experiences with technology. Okay? How do you do that? Again, you begin with ILO, instructional goal, and then you decide, you plan on choosing unsay instructional approach. That's when you choose your required tools for um, to enhance the learning experience of your students. Okay? So mauna imong mabasa dire sa kilid, teachers need the ability to have a clear instructional goal or ILO. Okay? And the process becomes reflective. You reflect upon the results of implementing and determining what changes to make in the future. Okay? Now let's move on to the third framework, that is the MSI. MSI stands for Exploration, Modeling with Mistakes, Scaffolded Exploration, Classroom Problem Solving, and Independent Activities. This is similar to TIPC framework. Here you can see that there is really progression from exploration to independent learning. That is, this model seeks to provide just a method for teachers to plan how to integrate technology into classroom instruction while gradually releasing responsibility to students so students can use technology independently. So this is, for example, kung let's say ang imong lesson is tudloan ang imong estudyante magbuhat ng PowerPoint presentation. So in essence, ang approach would be asa ka magsugod, exploration. You allow your students to explore. Kala sige, pindot kung unsay ila diha gusto pinduton, mag-type sila kung unsay ilang i-type and so on. And then after achieving or after doing that first stage, you model with mistakes. So, pasabot ng modeling with mistakes, ikaw ang mag-demonstrate and then you intentionally commit mistakes so that your students also recognize na ay sige mali di ay imong gibuhat. So, together you learn. Okay, pero again, ang imong mistake is intentional just for students to see na your actions are erroneous. So that is in the case of demonstrating for using PPT. And then after, scaffolded exploration, classroom problem solving, and then lastly, independent activities. I remember it was in 2009. I don't know kung asa maanang 2009, but college ko ana, fourth year college student, and we were learning how to use PPT, exactly the example I provided you earlier. Kay mao ni akong madumduman sa kaning MSci framework. I was amazed by how we were trained by our ComSci instructor. ComSci man to. ComSci or IT something. But we had a course, we had a subject on computer, something like that, no? Sa una. Na ang pagtudlo niya is kanijod na process. Exploration. So for example, nagitudloan mig Microsoft Word. So wala siya klase-klase exploration, wala siya yung mga pa-lection diha about Microsoft Word. Ipa-open mig Microsoft Word and mag-explore mi diha kung unsay among buhaton. Okay? And then after, maghatag na siya activity. Okay? Tapos kada activity namo na siya feedback na kada feedback sa among output until the time until niabot mi sa time nga pabuhat na mig project. So I'm not sure kung sa inyong IT na mga subjects karon kanang computer na mga subjects kung naa pa ba, kung kana ba ang approach sa teaching. So essentially mao na ang mahitabo sa guide sa MSci na framework. Exploration, scaffolded exploration and so on. So siguro kung imo sablantawon, I think mo qualify pod ang entire design ng Eduk 6, no? um, Na matapos kita sa Eduk 6 with you doing your own lesson plan. But, asa mata nagsugod? Nagsugod ta sa pagpanguha ng existing na lesson plans from teachers. So, naay exploration element. Tapos nagpabuhat sa mo lesson, nagbuhat mo mga tasks, 'di ba? Task sa una na part ng lesson plan. Tapos mag-comment mo adtong mga unsa pa ni mag-critique mo og mga lesson plan sa asa ang mali, and then karon nagsugod na mog buhat, di ba, ginatudloan ko kamo unsaon pagsulat ng ILO, unsaon pag align ng mga parts ng lesson plan, unsa tong UDL and so on. And now we are ending with independent activity, that is doing your own lesson plan and hopefully um, demonstrating your lesson plans in class. Okay? Now, let's move on to this first taxonomy. Taxonomy on evaluating your technology use, SAMR. Substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. Kaning SAMR taxonomy provides a framework for evaluating tasks or activities involving levels of technology integration to support learning objectives. Essentially, kung naara ka sa SA na levels, your intention is to enhance learning only. Okay? So particularly kung sa substitution na ana sa term mismo, ang technology is there to substitute you, the teacher. The digital tool substitutes an analog tool. Okay? And then augmentation, the digital tool replaces the analog tool but improves the process for the user. So for example, instead of a book, di na ka maghatag ng book, manghatag na ka og PPT slide. Okay? So mauna siya ang mahitabo sa substitution and augmentation. Ang kaning higher levels of technology use, modification and redefinition, kani sila kung naa na ka diri nga level, you are not only enhancing learning but you are transforming the learning experience. In what way? The digital tool modifies a process for the user and transforms the process and learning. So for example, kung sa una mag role playing ra mo sa classroom. So karon lahi na wala na uso ang role playing. Ang uso karon is kanang video production na siya. So there is use of technology. You are also doing a similar activity, telling your students to act on, or let's say to portray particular roles, but with the use of technology you transform the learning experience by by modifying the process of arriving at at completing a similar task, no, kanang task nga katong what could be a role playing kung walay technology. Okay. Now, next framework, the RAT framework. Essentially, this is similar to the previous one. RAT stands for replacement, amplification, and transformation. So ang transformation jud ang highest na level. Now we use technology to transform the learning experience. So ang lowest level, replacement. So similar dire sa SAMR na taxonomy, ang substitution, the lowest level, dire pod sa RAT taxonomy, replacement ang iyang term. So as you can see here, say R, no, R is replacement. No instruction change, but the replacement of the analog tool with a digital tool. So mao na akong ginabalik-balik before sa inyo sa klase. So kanang na I teacher for example, all throughout the semester gagamit siya og LCD projector and PowerPoint presentation. Mahappy ba ka ana nga level of technology integration? Pwede, yes. But now, you have to think, you have to realize nga kana nga technology integration is the lowest level of integration. Kay iyarang gina-replace iyang lecture. So, ang iya tanang buhaton sa classroom na mag-explain, mag-elaborate diha in front of the class, nawala na siya. Kay naa na may LCD or naanay lecture video nga nag-replace sa teacher. And then diha ra pod matapos, mag-quiz na siya and so on. Okay? So, ang uban, i-amplify, i-transform ang learning experience. So, unsa man ang amplification? Ang amplification, no instruction change gihapon, but a digital tool provides an increase in efficiency. So, siguro instead of, ang uban manggod is, for example, um, chapter 1, si teacher magdala si diha, magkabiba si diha ng LCD projector, tapos mo consume si diha ng 20 minutes na oras sa klase, mag-set up ra ng LCD projector. Tapos, magklase siya sa klase o mag-explain, mag-present ng lesson or na ay reporter na mag-explain ng lesson. So, kana that is replacement. Kung mag-amplify na ka, walay change sa mga lessons diha. Pero you do something para mahimong mas efficient. So tungod kay na-realize nimo na mo consume man ng time ang mag-set up ng LCD sa klase, tapos kapoy man, mapagaw man ka, init pagajud sa klase, edi you have realized na, o sige, mag-record rakan ko daan ng lecture video, i-upload ko rakan sa YouTube. Eh para mas efficient. That is A in RAT, amplification. So, now, I will ask you, asa dapit inyong mga instructors karon naaba sila sa replacement or amplification? Pero remember, it doesn't end there. Dili siya matapos sa amplification. Kay the entire educational or learning experiences can even be transformed. Asa man ang level, kaning sa transformation level, instruction is transformed due to the effect of a digital tool on student learning. So naay uban, mag-end ra sila sa amplification. So mao ta akong giingon, pagkahuman sa amplification, mag-quiz na sila, enumeration, mag-quiz na sila identification or essay. And then next chapter, the process repeats. Okay? Naay uban, dili diha matapos ang technology use. Ang ilang ipabuhat is magpa-project sila. For example, ng video production, magpa-produce sila ng podcast, magpa unsa ra kan diha ng mga activities, mga video campaigns or mga unsa pa ni ako mga gipabuhat before kaning magamit ng Canva, unsa ra kan diha ng mga output na ma-produce using Canva. So that is transformational learning. Okay, kanang mo-adjust, ma-modify na ang imong delivery sa imong lesson. Or not only delivery, but you provide multiple means of action and expression for your students to demonstrate the intended learning outcomes. Okay? Now, moving on to the final taxonomy, mao ni akong oftentimes ginagamit, especially when I am asked to present something. Like mga months ago, I was asked to speak for an event. Ang participants, mga newly hired na mga instructors. Tapos ang akong isa sa mga topic is technology integration. And syempre para madali ra ang akong presentation, ang akong gi-appeal is only the T3 taxonomy. So akong ganahan aning T3 is mas comprehensive siya, mas detalyado siya. So naay tulo ka levels pero in essence naay six ka ka sub-levels. So, yeah, maabot siya jag 6 kay T1.1, T1.2, 2.1, up to T3.2. So, in essence, same rapod sa SAMR and RAT. So, unsa tong sa SAMR, S stands for substitution. Sa RAT, R stands for replacement. The same pod ni sa T3 taxonomy. Ang translational, that is automation and consumption. Okay? So, I mean, puro na to actually mga automation. Gina-automate lang ang processes. Okay? Apil na pod ang consumption. For example, sa atong na-mention kay na nga amplification na si teacher, si instructor, instead na mag-present pa diha sa klase using PPT, nag-assign na siya ng lecture video. Kung nag-assign siya lecture video, asa man ang dapit? T1.2, consumption. That is making students consume multimodal texts. Okay? So unsay akong ingon? Unsay T, transformation. Ang T sa transformation is you don't stop at amplification. You try to provide innovative na mga activities where students produce something using technology, that is transformation. Diri pod sa RAT, that is the T, pero diri sa T3 framework actually naara siya sa T2, production, producing multimodal text. So, dapat dili daw. So, diri mas mahimong exciting because ingon sa T3 taxonomy, dili lang dapat matapos sa production. Dapat mo continue sa contribution, mo continue sa inquiry design, mo continue sa social entrepreneurship. So, ato ning sabton isa-isa. So T1 in general means technology is there as a replacement ng teacher, as a replacement ng mga analog na mga tools. Unsa man ning analog na mga tools? Manila paper, chalkboard, kanang usual na makita diha sa physical na classroom without technology. Okay? So, T1.1 means automation, that is automating or digitizing presentations, spreadsheets, email, or web searching technologies. So, in general, you use technology so that you can achieve efficiency sa classroom. Okay? So, mas dali tuod kung di na ka magamit ng chalkboard diha, lecture video ra kan. Okay? Or PPT ra kan, di na ka magsuyat-suyat. Ang T1.2 is similar to automation. This is consumption because students and teachers consume content knowledge from a digital device or source, like, for example, YouTube, any streaming website, rather than an analog source such as a book. Okay? But take note, this process is passive. Nga naman passive man. Wala may ginabuhat lain ang students. Naglantaw man ng lecture video, naglantaw man ng any film, naglantaw man ng any documentary, kay maumay imong gipalantaw. So I remember na ay mga instructors na magpili ng random na mga YouTube videos diya sa YouTube and then write a reflection. So actually, sige, okay, na ay technology integration, but that is T1. Okay, that is consumption only, the lowest level of technology integration. Passive, glantaw ra. Tapos ang product nila or output is just a written output with no technology integration. So again, that is T1 only. So karon, I challenge you na to not stop at T1. You move higher, you progress higher. Unsa maning sa taas-taas, T2, transformational. So take note ha, sa T2, transformational, para sa mga previous na framework like SAMR and RAT, ang transformational is the highest level. Pero dire, just level 2. Okay? So tech as an enhancer. So unsa may naa, T2.1 is production. So unsa man ni ang technology use? Creating content using digital tools. So 'di ba sa atong klase nag-produce na mag mga campaign videos, educational videos, mga infographic materials, sa uban ako na mga subjects nagpa-produce ako ng um, podcast. So again, that is T2, transformational. Tech as an enhancer. Pero again, that is only T2.1. Okay? I could go higher. Kamo pod in the future, you could go higher. Now, when you plan your lessons karon, when you think of designing your lesson, or let's say in the future, mo graduate na mo, mag-demo ka mo, or maskin sa kanang mag-practice teaching na kamo kintahay in the near future, when you think of your lesson plan, again, do not stop at T1, are mo sa T2, dali ra ni ma-achieve ang T2. And dili ra pod mo dapat mo stop at T2.1. Try to achieve T2.2 contribution. That is collaborating and contributing to digital spaces. So, mao ni akong ginatry recently na ang akong mga estudyante ipaproduce na akong output, let's say podcast. And then, ang podcast, dili na dapat siya matanggong sa among group chat, ipa-upload ko gajud si Ja. So in that way, si students nag-contribute na sa ongoing conversation online. So with that, na-transform gyud ang iyang learning experience. So na ay yeah, another example na ako'y gi-require sa akong mga estudyante nga just a social media campaign. Gipabuhat ko sila ng gipabuhat ko sila ng kaning kaning ano ginoo ko. Um kaning basta ka ng out of Canva. So ang kanang ilang mga output diha sa Canva, kanang mga murag collage ra pod, akong gipa-upload sa ilang own Facebook. And then, essentially, nag-publish sila ng content sa ilang social media pages. So, that is contribution, T2.2. And then, I asked them later, pagbalik sa klase on their realizations, mga na-learn, mga reflection, and so on. Okay? So, now, ingon sa T3 framework, technology integration doesn't actually stop at contribution. Asa man siya mas maabot pa. So actually inilisod na siya, transcendental, tech as a catalyst. Sa maning tech as a catalyst. 3 at T 3.1 inquiry design. We use technology for exploring and researching. So for example, students use digital databases and online research tools to conduct in-depth investigations into scientific or social questions leading to research projects. Diri mosulod ang inyong thesis, for example. So ang inyong thesis, mag-require na jud siya ng grabe kadaghan nga technology integration. Right? So dili lang Canva, dili lang PPT, dili lang Excel, dili lang diha na mga usual na mga apps inyong gigamit, mas mo encounter pa mo ng more or other novel na mga technologies. So ma-expose ka mo sa mga digital databases and so on. Or online research tools, for example, Zotero, Mendeley, Typeset.io, Elicit, abot kung familiar mo ana. But these are research tools na imong magamit to produce research projects which in essence serves inquiry design or T 3.1. Now, naapay pinakataas, T 3.2, social entrepreneurship. using technology for social impact and innovation. Example, students using technology to address social issues, such as developing apps that contribute to solving community problems. I don't know if you will ever achieve this level. Siguro sa mga BS Comsci, IT na mga programs, they can achieve this level. Pero we don't know. Kay base day in the future, you will be challenged by somebody. Siguro kung dili manggaling diri sa klase sa college na level ninyo, maybe in the future when you study for your master's degree or for your doctorate degree, i-challenge mo ani nga level T 3.2. Okay? Kaya ako personally, I have been challenged. Ang ako, kung mag-recall ko sa akong mga experiences before, niabot ko T 3.1 as a student. Kanang mga thesis di ay dissertation for my PhD. Pero kaning social entrepreneurship, ambot kong asa ko ana dapit. Siguro, I'm almost there. Pero to address social issues, mag-develop ng apps, it's so big. Siguro kay wala pa man ko sa inventor na era. So anyway, someday maybe one of you will get to that point as a student. Pero remember, as a teacher, how will you make your students get to this level? It's going to be challenging. Okay? Now, in conclusion, technology integration frameworks like TPAC, TIPSI, MSI complement teachers' decision-making processes for lesson design. Evaluation frameworks or taxonomies, SAMR, RAT, and T3 taxonomies help teachers evaluate the levels of technology integration. Now, if we combine all these six frameworks and taxonomies with the universal design for learning, we can support a wide range of student needs and help foster success in both traditional and new literacies. Okay? So, final note lang no on ChatGPT that as I mentioned earlier. So, I know recently daghay gagamit ng ChatGPT, dili lang estudyante but also instructors. Now, naay uban which is for me saddening, no? Because they vilify ChatGPT. Unsa man pasabot anang they vilify ChatGPT. They think of ChatGPT as, as an evil na it can compromise learning and development of students. Now, let me give you a perspective this time. And siguro I would say this is a progressive perspective that first, for students, ChatGPT is your tutor. It's a personal tutor for all students. And when you become teachers yourselves, ChatGPT or any other generative artificial intelligence is your teaching and research assistant. In short, the use of these technologies can really help us no sa pag-address ng mga challenges sa matag adlaw sa pagkasudyante o pagkamaestro. So there is actually no point in trying to ban ChatGPT. What we need is we need to adapt. We need to think about how we can incorporate generative AI or ChatGPT into how we train our students to effectively use these tools. So that's why when I started this presentation na ako'y demonstration sa paggamit ng ChatGPT when I tried to ask ChatGPT about framework, when I asked ChatGPT about the title of this presentation. So kay kung imo sa dumdumon manggod before ambot kong familiar mo ani mga statistical analysis. So karon actually na ay mga software nga iska pindot ra nimo mo compute na siya ng mean, median, mode, correlation, um, significant difference between two groups. Na mga 10 years ago, 20 years ago, naana ni na mga software. So, sa paglago ani na mga statistical analysis softwares, actually ni-adjust pod ang pag-teach ng mga teachers. Dili na siya mo tudlo diha ng formula sa classroom. Ang focus na sa iyang pag-teach is mag-teach na siya of when to use the statistical procedure instead of mano-mano ka diha mag-demo sa blackboard. So, what's the bottom line? We can modify our instructional processes na mahimong chat GPT or generative AI proof or well integrated ang chat GPT as a tool for students. That's why ambot kong makadumdum mo, I would often say sa klase, you may use chat GPT for this and that. Sometimes ako pa magtudlo sa inyo how to use it. 'Di ba? Ngano man confident man ko natudloan mo paggamit or i-allow mo paggamit ng ChatGPT because at the end of the day, kung mag-exam na kita, syempre nobody is allowed to use that. Na anak ko'y expectation na you have mastered how to, let's say, plan a lesson. You have developed the mastery of applying UDL in your lesson plan. Breaking down a case, from a case to a lesson plan, from a lesson plan to constructive alignment showcase. So kana ang mga expectations na nako sa inyo. So nag-practice na dapat kamo sa ChatGPT karon. And syempre, clear policies have to be in place. So at the moment, unsa man karon nga adlaw, it's April 2024. Ang sa SNSU wala patay clear policy on using AI. Maybe in the future na naatay clear kay for example in LaSalle, in the LaSalle University in Manila, na sila clear policy on ChatGPT. Unsaan siya pag judge kanang mga outputs na generated by ChatGPT, when to use it, when is it allowed, and when it is not allowed. Okay? So dapat klaro. So in the future, I hope we get to a point where we know how to we know how to place ChatGPT in our daily functioning. Okay? So that's where I end my presentation. I hope you have learned something. Bye.